What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I did to transform and ultimately build my dream physique. When I made these 3 changes, I was able to get results and keep them. Before we get into the video, though, I want to remind you guys to do hard shit, be confident, have the courage to be uncomfortable, and don't care what anyone says about you. Without further ado, I'm going to send you guys to my computer now, so I will see y'all over there. All right, guys, I have you all on my computer now. Let's go ahead and get into how I actually brainwashed myself into transforming. So I implemented all these changes because I realized that who I was fundamentally was not someone who had the things that I wanted. And instead of trying to be like, how can I get this? I was like, okay, wait, the person I am now doesn't have these things for a certain reason or for a couple different reasons. And I need to figure out what those are and what I'm currently doing that's keeping me stuck. So what I'm doing now is yielding me results that I don't like. So that's going to lead me into the first thing that I did that ultimately brainwashed me into being successful, which is number 1, it's going to be I did the exact opposite of what I would normally do. So obviously I didn't know what to do because if I knew what to do, I would have already been there, but I would do the exact opposite of what I was currently doing. So everything that I knew, I was like, okay, clearly this is what's keeping me stuck. I need to do almost the opposing option. Because when you think about it, I was the reason as to why I was in that certain situation. So what I'm doing isn't working. And if I didn't know the right thing to do, I was like, let me just do the opposite. And honestly, when I start to think about it, obviously I should have been doing this. Like, yeah, I shouldn't skip the gym. I should do the opposite and go. But it was hard to put it into practice. But when I was very intentional with, okay, I know that me not going is making me stuck in this situation that I don't like. So even though I may not want to do it, I'm going to go anyways, because clearly if I were to do that or do anything different, maybe my situation would change. But that one was a bit more obvious because no shit, if you go to the gym when you don't want to, like, you're going to get the results, right? You should be going, obviously. But this was mainly helpful in the sense that, like, I didn't know what to do at times. So it would make me have like a little bit of analysis paralysis. And because of that, I was like, okay, instead of trying to focus on doing the perfect thing, let me just do something different than what I'm currently doing or the opposite of what I'm currently doing. And I'd also apply this to little things, right? So I realized around this time that I was a bit lazy. I would, not do things right away. Like when my clothes would come out, I wouldn't fold them right away, or I would not put them back on the hanger, all those little things. And I started making the conscious decision of, okay, yeah, I don't want to do this right now, but I know it needs to be done. Like some days when I'm in a rush, I don't want to make my bed. But I started being very intentional with, okay, I'm going to make my bed, doing the harder option or doing the thing that I'm avoiding or that I don't want to do. And when I realized that I was avoiding things simply because I was lazy or I lacked energy or wanted things to be easy, and I was always looking for the easy option, I started making myself do the harder thing even though I didn't want to. And that actually translated to better results in other aspects of my life because I taught myself to do hard things, and I basically taught myself how to bear more. And I know it seems small, but it's those little things that compound over time, like always choosing to take the long way or choosing to take the stairs instead of the escalator, stuff like that. I basically just stopped trying to take shortcuts. So when you don't know what to do and you're sitting there trying to contemplate what you should do, when in doubt, do the opposite of what you're currently doing, because what you're currently doing is yielding you the results that you do not like. Let's get into the second thing, number 2. You guys probably already seen it, but we're going to get into it anyways. I stopped chasing the physical goal. Okay, yes, it started with a vanity-based goal. Yes, of course, it started with me wanting to look lean and toned, but what I didn't realize was that it wasn't the look that I was actually chasing. I wanted the confidence. I wanted the reassurance in myself. I wanted to be able to be that person. It wasn't just, I want these muscles, I want this, right? It meant more to me than that. It meant proving to myself that I could do it. It meant me being confident, me being confident in my health. It meant me not being scared to show up as myself. And that's what I wanted. I wanted all the success that came with a person that had that physique or that had that body and had those things that also came along with a positive mind. That's what I really wanted. Because when I figured that out, I realized that the physique I was chasing was a byproduct of growth. I wanted to build myself up so I could take myself further in life. And what I had currently was almost just a very bare base. And I needed to do more things in order to be that person who had that physique. It started with wanting to look a certain way, but I realized I wanted to be that person. I didn't really want to look like, yes, of course I wanted to look that way, but that look meant more to me than just, lean, muscles, whatever. This very shallow, vain goal. It wasn't about that. Yes, of course, I wanted to look good and I wanted to be confident, but it was also about my health. It was about proving myself that I could do it, doing hard things, chasing growth. That's what it became. And when I understood that, I realized that it wasn't about the physical goal. Your physique is a reflection of your mind and the standard that you hold yourself to. When I realized that I was actually chasing more than just the way that I looked, I started doing things that I thought that person would do, even if it wasn't fitness related, right? So focusing on learning more, asking more questions. I stopped thinking that I knew everything. I was like, okay, wait, you know nothing, because clearly you're in a situation that you don't like and you don't know how to get out of it. You need to be chasing growth. When I started chasing growth, both mentally, physically, emotionally, all those kinds of things, just trying to become better, It was then reflected in my physique, as well as the way that I interacted with people, the way that I showed up in the world, all that kind of stuff. When I was simply chasing the physique, it was exhausting, it was draining. I was always training, always trying to not eat enough, always trying to do all these things because I wasn't focused on growing as a person, growing by learning more about the world, about myself, about my emotions, about my mind, about everything, all that kind of stuff. Because I thought I knew so much and I had this ego to me, I almost confined myself to the mediocre level of knowledge and success because I thought I knew everything. And so I thought there was only one way to go about it. And so I put all these restrictions on myself because I was closed-minded due to my ego. When in reality, instead of focusing on the muscles and the abs and the being lean, I needed to focus on constantly growing to be a better person so that I could be more successful because I built myself to have all the tools necessary to succeed and get those goals that I wanted. When I shifted my mindset from simply focusing on getting abs and muscles and all this kind of stuff to I want to grow as a person, both mentally, physically, emotionally, all those things, that's when I started to see the changes reflected in my physique and I was able to keep them. I was showing up how I wanted to in the world. I wasn't as insecure. I wasn't as angry. I was who I wanted to be and I was good to those around me and to the people that I loved because I was constantly growing and learning and I let go of my ego and I wasn't like I'm always right. I was like, I could be wrong and I could learn something from this. Constantly chasing growth is what I'm trying to convey to you guys here. When it's only a physique-based goal, it's going to be hard to stick to it when shit gets hard because you're going to not give a fuck about your abs when you want to binge or when you're stressed or anything like that. It's about building the mental fortitude and proving to yourself that you can do it. That's why you need to be patient and stop being in a rush. I understand what it feels like to be insecure and to be frustrated and all those kinds of things, and you just don't want to be the way that you are anymore, but that growth takes time because getting yourself into that position also took time. What you can do is constantly be pursuing growth, and in that sense, that will be a lifestyle change. And so you'll always be on path to your goals because you're always going to be wanting to learn, to grow, to do all these things. And the more you learn about yourself, about the world, about the others around you, the better you're going to show up, the more successful you'll be, and the more knowledge that you'll have, and that'll give you strength to achieve higher goals. Sometimes when we only focus on the physical goal or the physique, we can tend to form a negative relationship into getting there because we're so fueled by frustration and insecurity, and it's not leading to positive growth on our end. And that positive growth that we could be experiencing will translate into other goals, whether it be personal goals, a career goal, a financial goal, anything like that. I really want to hit the nail on the head here with saying this is all in synergy. Your life has to all work together because if it doesn't, something is working against another and it's going to be very frustrating and a lot of friction. Instead of focusing on how I looked in the mirror, I focused on growing as a person and becoming a better individual, whether it be emotionally, physically, mentally, or anything like that, because everything works together. And lastly, the most important thing was I was married to my goals. The minute that I started viewing my goals as if I was married to them like I would be in a relationship, there was no way that it wasn't going to work. Something that I would stick with through thick and thin. Obviously, I'm going to be there on the bad days and the good days and all the days in between. And when you look at your goals that way, it's almost like there's no end goal. There's no timeline. I'm going to be here on the days where I think it's not working, where I'm really frustrated, where I'm really insecure. And then I'm going to be there on the days where I look in the mirror and I'm a little bit leaner than I used to be, or I've lost a little bit of weight, or my pant size went down, or I'm hitting a PR. I'm going to be there through thick and thin, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And so I was like committed to this goal until it was going to work, and I was going to work at it every single day. I mean, I showed up on the days where I was like, I don't even know if I'm doing the right thing. Is this even working? And let me tell you guys, that thought of, am I doing the right thing? Or I don't know if this is working, or I don't know what I'm doing, constantly weighing on you is fucking heavy, because I know what it feels like. And I know a lot of you guys experience that too, because I talk to y'all all the time. And that's the number one thing you guys say is like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And I can tell how much mental capacity that takes, how much energy it drains out of you guys. And I understand exactly where you're coming from, because I know what that feeling is like. You don't know if it's working, so you want to quit, you want to stop, you don't know what to do. That shit weighs on you. It helped when I took on the concept of marrying my goals, because it was like, regardless if I'm feeling this way, if I feel like shit, if this is a really tough day, I was going to show up. And this kind of also made me realize that one of the most underrated feelings ever is just being sure of yourself, having the assurance that you are doing the right thing. And when you marry your goals, you are doing the right thing, because the one commitment you have is to keep working towards that goal. This definitely taught me a lot of patience, and a lot of relationships I've been in have also taught me a lot of patience. So one thing that is definitely also underrated is patience. I had to become patient because I was so tired of being stuck in a position where I was angry, insecure, fueled by frustration, all that kind of stuff. And the only way for me to get out of that was to be patient. When you make the choice to be dedicated, committed, married to your goals, you will get there inevitably in due time. And if I'm being real, the path to success and the path to failure is only distinguished by when you stop walking. So if you just keep walking, you will get there. A lot of you guys do not realize this. There's this like common fear that we're wasting our time on our fitness journey because we're doing the wrong thing, when in reality, you're either learning what doesn't work or you're learning what does, but it's better than being stuck exactly where you are, because you know that you're unhappy there. With that being said, guys, those are the 3 things that I had to learn to brainwash myself into building my dream physique and transforming my mind and body to show up as my most confident self and be fully me for not only myself, but also for the people around me and the people that love me. If you want to work with me one-to-one to build your dream physique and be confident, I will leave the link to the application in the the description of this video. If you are a good fit, I will personally be reaching out to you. If you want to see more of me or message me personally, I will leave my Instagram in the description of this video as well. If you're struggling to transform or build your dream physique, I made a video about how I approach building dream physiques for myself and for my clients so that you can do it too. It's going to be linked right here. That is everything that I have today, guys. I love y'all so much. I promise I see every comment, every like, every subscription, every follow, every DM, all of you guys. I love y'all so much. As always, do hard shit and be confident. But most importantly, if you're contemplating starting, start right now. You cannot save time. You can only spend it. So quit wasting it. Thank you guys for watching. I love y'all so much. I will see you guys in the next one.